I don't want you to show me a billionaire who's 100 pounds overweight and has divorced and has no relationship with their kids. They're not successful. Yeah. They're rich. Welcome back to another episode of Back to the Basics with Jeff Fenster. I'm excited to have Milad Tajali in studio today. What's up, Milad?
What's up, baby? Blessed to be here, man.
Thank you. The future sports and entertainment rock star, the next Jerry Maguire. Right Show me the money.
Right here. Show me the Quan, baby.
Show me the Quan. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good. So we had the pleasure of meeting actually at VCon.
Indianapolis.
And here we are today, a freshman at Loyola Marymount.
Yes,
Marymount.
Loyola Marymount University.
Going to be a sophomore.
Turning 19.
Taking the world by storm.
Yeah, it's just
I feel the energy.
Baby steps, and we're pushing our way up.
Yes. Well, thank you. Well, this is your show, Milad, so
all right, well,
how can I help?
Let's start out pretty simple, man.
Okay.
What's the go-to bowl at Everbowl?
Oh, easy. For me or just for anybody?
Well, for you, and then I can tell you what mine is after.
Absolutely. So my go-to bowl, it changes. Mm-hmm. I'm seasonal, but right now my go-to is acai vanilla.
Okay.
Combination of those two. No granola, goji berries, cacao nibs, bee pollen, bee ballin', and a little bit of coconut sprinkles on top.
Okay. So what do you think about this? Mango.
Okay.
Blue Magic, right? Is that what it's called?
Absolutely.
Pineapple, more mango. But this is like, those were the two bases.
Mango top.
Now we're like sprinkling on top blueberries and the strawberries.
Delicious.
Right? And it's just like the best way to get your day started. Midday snack.
Tropical.
Finish your day off. Anything.
I mean, now I'm hungry.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
I pulled up and I was like, gosh, I need one of those.
Mm-hmm. I mean, good enough. Outside our studio is a full Everbowl.
Right out there.
We can have one after we get done with the show.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
So Everbowl itself is huge. But everything that goes into Everbowl, like, we saw the process and like we see it expand and we see like it grow. At the early stages of Everbowl, how did you motivate yourself when your time wasn't necessarily quantifying results?
Everbowl was not my first company. So I had already had a few exits, a few very successful, I sold a company for 7 figures, sold a company for 8 figures. So I have already knew how the process works. So it wasn't hard to motivate myself. Motivation is easy for me because I don't need motivation. If I have purpose and I have a passion for what I'm doing, I just do it because it's what I want to do. When I first saw them, I'll go backwards to answer your question. My first company, when I didn't have quantifiable results, nor did I have I'd never reached the end zone before, so I didn't know if what I was doing was working. I leaned into the fact that I had to be productive every day. And if I did that, I'll find a way to make success happen. And so I was motivated personally just to make money and be successful. What I did didn't matter. Like if you told me, go sweep for an hour a day and in 2 years you'll get $1 million. When I was 22, I'll sweep 10 hours a day. I don't care. If that's what it takes, let's do it. So it was really money driven. Now I understand the process and the passion driven. So it's just very easy for me.
And like, you say like this passion and stuff, like I'm a passionate dude. I'm confident in myself and my abilities. Sometimes I have like a little problem with my ego. Mm-hmm. I saw a bunch of your LinkedIn posts, a bunch of what you've been posting on YouTube. And like, I see how you like describe ego and how like you talk about it's very important to like put it aside sometimes. And how do I do that? Like I'm young and like I like to be confident in myself. And I think that I'm confident in myself, but then sometimes like someone will say something and then my confidence gets a little hurt, and then it's, I come to find out I'm like, I just need to take a step back. And
so I had ego problems too. Ego is healthy. It's good. Most successful people have an ego. And the reason is because you have to have that self-belief that is, I'm capable. I'm going to be the best at this. Watch me. Oh, you don't think I can? Watch me. Yes, I can walk on water. Yes, I can do all these things. That's going to drive you a lot. But sometimes, especially when you're on the growth trajectory, you have to learn how to say, okay, I am self-confident, but if you don't have the exact results you want right now and you're talking to someone who's further along, at those moments is where you need to tell your ego and yourself to say, you know what, I don't have to take the advice, but I have to listen. And I don't have to brag, and I don't have to let them know how amazing I am, because that's not attractive. Nobody actually, when you learn how to hone the ego as an internal fuel and not an external microphone, all of a sudden, it's like you see it in social media today, and I laugh because this is including a lot of my friends. Mm-hmm. They're kind of douches on social, like posting pictures in front of Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Okay, cool. Like, yes, we've all made money. I get it. I can go buy one too. Mm-hmm. I don't have one. I don't have a private plane. I don't fly private. Can I afford it? Yes.
But you're smart financially.
But why do I, and even if I did fly private, why do I need to brag about that? Is that going to, now they do it because younger generation looks at that and says, I want to be like them. Mm-hmm. I want what they have. Yeah. And so they can make some money from it. And I understand it. But it's the wrong kind of ego. I would rather inspire the young generation to say, this is how I made my money. Mm-hmm. And watch, I'm making investments with it. I'm buying real estate. I'm buying businesses. I'm buying stocks. I'm buying crypto. I'm investing in startups like yours. I'd rather write you a check and say, I'm investing in your business instead of buying a Ferrari. Mm-hmm. Now, if Ferraris fill your cup, go buy 10 of them. I mean, they just don't do it for me. I don't care. I like my truck. Yeah. I'm a truck guy.
So based on like what you just said, I mean, I know that you're really big about like building your personal brand and you're focused on that instead of like trying to exploit all these people. Is there steps to getting like, or is there steps to kind of gaining trust from people and kind of like showing them like, hey, I'm not here to mess you over. I'm not here to screw you over. I'm here to help you. Like, how do you like start by proving that, like it's a difficult world we live in. We're taught to mistrust people. So it's like,
I don't sell you anything. You can't buy, you're here today. I can't sell you a thing other than an $8 Everbowl. That's like, if you want to support me, go buy an Everbowl for $10. I don't have a course that I'm going to back end sell you on. I'm not getting you into my program to charge you $10,000 to come to my mastermind. Will I have one day? Maybe. Once I know I can deliver the value. But today I'm building it because I'm doing all this work and I'm speaking in front of cameras and on stages and bringing people in. And I can't sell you anything. I'm giving you an experience to say, I think I'm more like everybody else than a lot of the people we all aspire to be. Like we look at Tony Robbins. He's like 6'5".
His hands are huge.
He's a man who commands the room. Mm-hmm. I'm 5'9". I don't have Mark Zuckerberg's brains. Mm-hmm. I don't have LeBron James' athleticism. I'm like everybody else, like a normal human with, I got into college. I went to University of Arizona. I didn't go to Harvard. I went to law school, but I went to Thomas Jefferson School of Law. I worked hard to do it. I have okay intellect, and I'm somewhat driven. So I'm like a lot of people. What I figured out was how an ordinary guy like me can get extraordinary results. I figured that process out. So I'm teaching that process because I can help millions of people like me get success for them. That's what I want to accomplish. So that's what I'm trying to do and build trust through the personal brand. And those who want to chase the Ferraris from the people who are posting on Ferraris, if they can teach you how to buy Ferraris, great. Yeah. Go do that. If you want to be successful regardless of what you do, and I'm not one industry. I have done this across multiple industries. I'm not bragging. I'm teaching. I'm showing like I don't need to make money anymore. I mean, this is not to brag. I am a millionaire. I don't need to make money. I don't need to sell you anything. I don't have to show up tomorrow. I could be on a beach. But it doesn't fill me up. Yeah. It doesn't make me feel good. You know what actually makes me feel good is knowing that, in 2 years when hopefully we've built this relationship and, you landed the biggest client in the world and you're taking them, I don't know what sport, but Super Bowl or NBA finals and your client's there and you call me up and go, Jeff, do you want floor seats? Because my client's playing in game 7 of the NBA finals. Mm-hmm. Bring your wife and come hang out. Yes, I do. That would be amazing. An experience, right?
Just believe that you're getting them too.
Right. And so that's what I mean. You can't buy experiences. And so I get more enjoyment today when team members or people hit me up on social media and go, hey, I took a piece of your advice and it worked. Mm-hmm. And now I'm getting ahead and now I'm achieving this. Like that makes me feel better than you writing me a check for $5,000. Mm-hmm. So that's where for me, it's like, I would rather build trust that way and I'm willing to do it and I don't need anything for it. So if that doesn't build trust, I'm never going to get your trust. And that means you're not part of my tribe. Mm-hmm. Go chase something else from someone else. And I'm not disputing that my way is the only way. There's so many good ways. If you want to learn real estate specifically, I'm not the guy. If you want to learn technology, I'm not the guy. If you want to learn a success formula that doesn't care what industry you're in, I'm the guy. Mm-hmm. But there are experts in specific things and they teach amazing qualities. Go do them. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay people and have coaches because I do. I pay coaches and mentors. I'm just saying today I'm not one of them. I'm someone who's just giving it away for free to build that trust and build a community and elevate as many humans as I can. And when they look back, go, Jeff didn't get anything from me, but he helped me. Mm. Cool. We're friends. That's amazing.
Do you think you've gained this knowledge? Like this came obviously after, like as like you went through all the trials and tribulations, as you went through everything in your life. Do you think going to school was a big factor in like who you are today? Was it like something that's like determined where you are, or is it something that you think like if you look back, you could have done without it?
I would have been successful without it, but I think school is very important. And I think school is very important not for the reason most people do. I don't think you learn much in school. I don't remember what I learned in Native American Studies or Regional Development 103 or Econ 206. Like, I don't remember much from that. Like those, but what I learned was coming from high school and becoming an adult and transitioning from kid to adult and understanding how to juggle schedules, handle assignments, learn things I didn't really want to learn, meet the relationships and the people. Some of my best friends are from college and law school. I mean, one of my buddies from law school is one of the biggest agents in the world. I went to law school to be a sports agent. I was going to go work at Lee Steinberg Sports Agency. So I was going down that path, right? So I understand like the relationship capital you build with these like-minded individuals, same age, same life experience, can go on forever. Also, it's experiential, right? Like, I think college is great. My daughter, she's going to college in the fall. She's going to be a freshman at Ole Miss. Go Rebels.
Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy, yeah. I knew nothing about it before that, but I'm excited for her, and I think that that's great. So do I think it's a prerequisite for success? Absolutely not. Do I think it's a opportunity for an elevator to success? Absolutely. And I think if you can get into school and you go to school, I think you should. I think you should utilize it for what it is. Everyone has a rate. So I wanted to leave school.
What time frame is this? Is this graduate school or is this
undergrad? When I went to undergrad, I called my parents my sophomore year and said, I'm dropping out of college. And my dad said, please don't drop out of college. I'm like, this isn't for me. I hate all these classes. Like, this is not who I am. Yeah. He's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, just finish the semester and we'll talk about it. And so I started to say, you know what? Instead of dropping out, what if I graduate early? So I took summer school, graduated in 3 years instead of 4 years, and graduated a year early and when was 21. And I knew I wanted to be a sports agent, but you don't need a degree to be a sports agent. It just kind of helps.
Yeah.
And then I did some, Drew Rosenhaus has a book called A Shark Never Sleeps. If you haven't read it, read it.
Okay.
It's an awesome book about sports agent and his story and how he became a sports agent. And he went to Duke Law School, and I was reading about his experience. I'm like, I'm going to go to law school. So I applied to law school at 21 and enlisted in the Marine Corps at the same time. And told the Marines, if I get into law school, I'm going to law school. If not, I'm going to go be a Marine, because I had no idea what I was doing. And so I got into law school and went to law school and graduated at 24 3 years later. So I expedited undergrad because I didn't want to finish.
Yeah.
And then realized, oh no, I need more education, and went to law school. And then didn't use the law degree, but paid for it.
But do you still do you get to use the law degree? I know you're not in any like legal fields, but like, do you ever use it as like a, hey man, like I went to law school?
Well, I used the education from law school was incredible. And it's not, the thing about law school is, it's for those who are considering law school, go to law school. You know what's amazing about law school? You're not going to learn the law. You're going to learn how to think.
Yeah.
You're going to learn how to think. And the way law school works, the best thing I ever learned in law school is, and it helps me in sales, it helps me in negotiating, it helps me in everything I do now, is it's the analytical approach, which is a law school exam will give you a set of facts. Milad walked into the grocery store. He walked out and he had a candy bar in his pocket and he didn't pay for it. He gets pulled over by the police. Defend why Milad stole the candy bar, or prosecute Milad on stealing the candy bar, or defend Milad and say why he didn't. Regardless of my opinion of the facts. Oh, he stole it. But I have to defend him. I have to think about how do I put myself in someone else's shoes, even though I disagree with the position, and argue the best I can for them. When you have that skill, and you go into the real world, and I'm negotiating with a potential vendor, supplier, employee, sales opportunity, client, or you're going to represent athletes, and you're going to negotiate with me at Everbull to be a sponsor and get your client money. If you can say, what does Everbull want? And put yourself in my shoes, even though you have your client's best interest, and go, I know Jeff wants this, 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 and this. And then you can articulate that to me in a sales process, you're going to get the sale. That's why I was one of the best sales reps. I was the number one sales rep at ADP, and I built many companies off of sales because I learned analytical thinking in law school, how to put myself in my prospect's shoes and realize what are the objections they're going to make, what are the apprehensions they have, and how do I overcome them. So again, do I remember do I remember property law and easement law, and can I tell you the codes? No, I don't remember. I don't care.
Hey everyone, just wanted to take a second to say how incredibly grateful we are for all of our listeners, and I want to hear from you. Your feedback is greatly appreciated, and it will only help us make this show better for you. So any questions you have, click the link in the show notes below and let us know. Now, back to the episode.
Is there like, law school or just the whole schooling experience, your compulsory schools and all that stuff? Like, I think from 5th grade to going into like my senior year of college, I'm going to be spending $500,000 on just education. And then now after that, it's like, like let's go into grad school too. Why don't I just use that money instead of paying however much I'd pay for grad school, invest that in myself and do what I'm already doing, which is going out to events like VCon or working with different people and like just kind of using all my opportunities and spending my time doing that with 100%, 110% of my effort instead of going to school and paying money to set myself back 3 years. But that also is like a little bit of shallow-minded thinking.
Well, I think you missed one thing. Why is school not investing in yourself?
I think it is. I think it's just a little bit more. Well, you do say that like the law degree like helped you, but
Tremendously.
I think that like if I spent that time going traveling to different places, meeting people like yourself, coming and doing awesome podcasts like this and doing stuff like that, the experience that I'm building firsthand might outweigh the lessons that I'm learning. Because like school, like I'm not the best kid at school, I like to be doing things actively or talking, and they're not really looking for that. They're looking for people to listen and take notes and be attentive and do stuff like that. For me, it's just I always got the questions. I always want to ask whatever I can, and I just want to like get my hands on. So it's like I've just had this. I have time, obviously, to think about it. But,
well, let me give you an answer. Let's say me and you are both vying for a client because you want to be a sports agent. So we'll say, I don't know, pick an athlete. Doesn't matter. LeBron James. We're going to go both talk to LeBron James. You're going to say, yeah, you know what? I'm 26. I didn't graduate school, but I've been doing this, and this. I'm going to go to LeBron and say, graduated undergrad, graduated law degree. I've been doing this, and this as well. The reason you're going to pick me, LeBron, is because number one, I've demonstrated that I can juggle and still be here in front of you while I attended school. I invested in myself. I got these degrees. I know the law. I know undergrad. I have a well-rounded education on top of all the things you're saying. So while you're saying 100% of your effort, I'm saying you need to do both. Depends what you want to be. A lot of times we think too short-term. And I was your age and I did want to drop out of college. I had that conversation with my parents. I said, I'm out. My parents paid my undergrad. So all I had to do was take out law school loans, and it cost me $130,000. So I was only in $130,000 total when I graduated. But all of that being said, looking back, as someone who doesn't use, I majored in regional development and got a law degree, and I sell acai bowls and I have a construction company. Like, I don't use the degrees the way they were intended.
Yeah.
If I had to go back, I would do it again. And my daughter, who is graduating, is going to college. And I'm pushing her there because I recognized it raises your floor in life. While you may get to where you want to be faster if you don't go to school, and you may not have to spend as much money. If I could give you one, if it was me and you were my kid or my brother, I would say you're going to raise your floor by finishing and getting your degree.
Okay.
And I also think you're going to expand your ceiling. It might take you a little longer to get where you want to get, which patience is not my virtue, and I understand. But over the end, your 40-year-old self, your 50-year-old self will look back and go, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that. Maybe I'm wrong, and feel free. Trust me, Zuckerberg dropped out of college. Bill Gates dropped out of college. By all means, you do not need the college degree is meaningless.
Yeah.
But the experience of it and finishing it and what it will do for you as a human over the long run, for most people, I think it's beneficial.
Yeah. Do you think, or is there anything in your life that at the time, like college, I guess that would probably be it for you, but that you thought was a bad decision, but then it ended up turning out to be like good for you or for the better?
So many. So many. I got a job selling payroll at ADP out of law school when I wasn't going to be a sports agent. I had a kid in law school. So that was why. When I graduated, I had a daughter and a fiance, and I didn't want to travel around representing grownups. I wanted to be a dad because it's a lot of work traveling around to be an agent. And I owed $130,000 in law school. And so I told my parents, even though I paid for it, I was like, yeah, I'm not taking the bar. I'm not going to pursue law. And they're like, are you nuts? Like, what did you go for? And they're like, at least go be a lawyer. And I was like, no, I'm going to go get a job selling payroll at ADP. And they're like, you're going to what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go make $38,000 base pay plus commission and sell payroll services door to door in National City, San Diego. And they looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. And I just didn't want to be a lawyer. Yeah. So I did. And I was the number one sales rep in the country. I made 6 figures in 6 months. And I thought I was going to work there forever. And then I quit to start my own payroll company. And they said, are you nuts? You have like the greatest job ever. I was golfing twice a week, barely working. Like I was living the dream and I made a lot of money. And they thought I was crazy again. But then I ended up building a company. I had to sell my house. I moved in with my parents to start my payroll company with my fiance and my daughter, living at my parents' house, quitting a 6-figure job, not pursuing law with my law degree, paying a 6-figure law school loan. And I ended up building a company and selling it and making a lot of money.
What age or like?
I was 24 when I graduated law school. I was 25 when I moved in with my parents. And so 24, I got a job at ADP. I bought a house in December of 2008 or 7. January 2008, I quit my job, sold my house. I was there for 1 month and moved in with my parents and my wife, fiance at the time and daughter, and quit all those things, had all those bills, but I started a company that I believed in. And then 3.5 years later, sold it and made a lot of money. Looking back, I'm very happy I made those decisions. Yeah. But at the time, those decisions seemed reckless.
But being so young, was it difficult to like, or being so like, were people looking down at you and they're like, man, you're too young to be doing this, or like you're reckless right now, or you're making too many impulsive decisions? What was your response to that? Because like that's
the ego. Well, that's the ego. That's where that self-belief. My faith is myself. I knew that I can sell. If I was the number one sales rep at ADP, guess what? I can go be the number one sales rep anywhere. So if this fails, I'll go sell some stuff. And if that fails, I'll go be a lawyer. I have the degree. And that's where I'm saying I can fall back on, I could be a lawyer tomorrow. I mean, I have to go take the bar and do all that. But realistically, in a year from today, I could be practicing any kind of law I want. Criminal defense, business, personal injury. That's a good job. So I get to now try all these things and navigate life with the backstop of I'm a college degree, law degree, and I can go be a lawyer. So I can go try a whole bunch of things. And when I look people like my support system, like my parents in the face, I go, if it doesn't work, I'll go be a lawyer. Well, I'm not going to start by settling. I'm going to start by chasing my dream. I'll settle if I have to. Like
setting those unobtainable goals almost makes us like better, or not almost, it does make us better because, you know, we're always reaching. And then if we accomplish one of them, you set another unobtainable one, or one that seems unobtainable, just because it's like you're striving to always be growing as a person. You know, you don't want to ever like, you know, cap yourself off or ever be like, I know too much. The second that you like start thinking like, oh, I know everything, like you don't know anything.
100%.
And it's like you said, 30 minutes, or you used to do 30 minutes every day or something, trying to do something new. Is this with like literally everything? And why do you do that?
Why do I learn?
No, like why do you go into like just doing everything random? Like, do you want to diversify yourself? Do you want to just?
It's interest, things that I have some interest in or some impact in my life. So I mentioned, I think on a previous episode, Photoshop. I'm around things all the time that require Photoshop and I knew nothing about it. So you could tell me it takes 18 hours and it'll cost me $12,000. And someone else can tell me it could take 10 minutes and cost me $5. Yeah. And I couldn't tell you either one of you were right. I knew nothing. And so I didn't think that was good for myself to go through life being ignorant. Knowledge is power. Education is important. Again, the degrees don't matter as much other than it sets a higher floor.
Yeah.
Because a lot of jobs, like you can't get a job at ADP without a college degree. Just can't. They don't hire you. It's a requirement. They require a college degree, not a law degree, college degree.
Could that even be like a general education degree though?
Yeah, just a 4-year degree. Okay. They just require it. So the degree gives me that opportunity where I can fall back on getting a job better. Like if me and you were applying for a job together at the same age and you don't have a college degree and I do, I'm more likely to get the job. Doesn't mean you want a job. It doesn't mean that's what you want for your life. But again, I like to shoot for the stars. And if I miss, land on the moon. Yeah. I don't want to shoot for the moon and miss and land back where I am. Yeah. And so I think raising your floor is important. But I learn things that interest me or impact my life. And so if I'm around you right now and we're talking about something, or you mentioned something like, I don't know, volcanoes on a planet, the moon that's traveling around Jupiter that's volcanic, and you start talking about the largest moon in the solar system, and I'm like, oh, I know nothing about that. When I go home tonight or tomorrow, I'll probably read up on it just to learn a little bit. So next time I'm like not oblivious to it. Yeah. Or when common, cultural events are happening, AI, which is obviously a huge one these days, and how you use AI. Like, I don't ever want to be a dinosaur. So I'm always going to learn these things that are being more utilized in technologies that are being used by people. And someone mentions a new social media platform. Oh, I'll check it out. Like, I want to learn. I want to understand. I want to be aware, and I want to enable myself to take advantage of them. And just, again, the more educated you are on stuff, the more interesting you are, and the more conversations you get to be a part of, and the more opportunities fall in your lap.
You nailed it.
Just a heads up, guys. We got time for one more.
Flew by. Here we go.
Oh, we got to think. Man, I like your watch too.
Thank you. You have a nice one as well.
Oh, twinsies.
You a diver?
No.
Okay.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scuba dive.
Well, now I kind of want that to be like my last question, but
ask your. We can talk about that and then ask your last question. We're good. 1.5 more.
Okay. So real quick. Wait. So scuba diving first. Are you okay to answer that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What?
Yeah, I love scuba diving. It's one of my biggest passions. Yeah.
That's actually really cool. That's like, see, that's one of those things, like you're saying, something like that you probably just one day was like, dude, I want to try this. And then now it's like your passion.
I went on a cruise with some college buddies.
Okay.
While I was in college, we kind of all went on this little Caribbean cruise, and we all said, hey, let's get certified to go scuba diving. We're in the Caribbean. We did. I was 21. I'm 40 now, so 19 years ago. And now I go on a dive trip with those buddies once a year. We go all over the world and dive, and I get to experience culture. I get to experience the ocean. This is a great watch for diving, the new Apple Watch. It's a dive computer as well. That's why I asked. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I got to start diving
I mean,
now.
you should. It's a different world out there.
The hard part is on my wrist already. I already have the watch.
I mean,
now I got to learn how to scuba dive.
Why have the watch if you're not diving?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, just something simple like submerging into the depths of the ocean. Okay, so how... I don't know how to phrase this. When you're going through adversity and you're balancing everything on your life, how do you prioritize what comes first, and what do you use as your like subset? You know, what's going to be dictating, like, you know what, like business is going rough, my family like are having problems, and then like, you know, personally, like financially, you're not, like, if the world is just crumpling down. I know, like we talked about, like you can take 5 minutes to go in your pity corner. You can also just like take a day to just take all the beating and then try to like move back into like flow. But after things like that happen, you kind of lose your whole momentum. So you're like struggling to find your steps again. So like, how do you recover, or where do you prioritize like your reset?
I do a concept called win stacking, and I look to win one thing. So I use the workout analogy because it's easy to understand. But if you're out of shape, sitting on a couch, and you're unhappy with your health, and you don't have the finances, and your family life's going shitty, and your work life's not doing well, and you have to start winning at little things. You've got to find a win in every single one of those buckets. So for my health, I'd put on my workout clothes and I'd watch Netflix. That way, at least today, I did that. Tomorrow, I'd put on my workout clothes and I'd walk or run to the mailbox. The next day, I'd put on my workout clothes and I'd walk or run to the next door neighbor's mailbox. And I would just incrementally grow on that. With my family, it depends what it is, but if it was a big fight with my kids, I would create an olive branch or something to start to rebuild the relationship. With my finances, I would do an inventory of where all my money is going and what I can cut so I can stop the bleeding, because when water's coming on the boat, stop letting water on the boat. Then we'll worry about how to get the water off the boat. And then for business, it's what is one thing I can do today to move the business forward? What is one little thing? And maybe it's reach out to my existing customers. I can't get any new customers. I'm losing customers. Maybe it's time to interview them and ask why. How can I mean, I used to do this all the time. This is something that so many business owners fail to do. You're a client of mine at my payroll business, my digital marketing agency, Everable franchise. Milad, how are things going? What is one thing I can do better to make your experience with my company stronger? What is one thing you are unhappy about that you feel that I need to be aware of? What is one area that if you were running the company for me and I was not running it, but you were, that you would change, that you don't think we're doing right? Ask. You don't always like the answers, but ask, right? And that's where you put your ego to the side, because those things were going to give you the roadmap. And then it's just micro goals, something obtainable today. We always set these, I want to be a millionaire, but you're in debt 40 grand. Well, okay. What is something we can do today I can cut my debt down just a little bit. Can I pay $5 towards something, $10 towards something? Can I make one sacrifice and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of eating out so I stop adding to my credit card debt? Like, what are micro goals I can do today to win? If I win the day, then I can win tomorrow. And I set a little bigger goal tomorrow and a little bigger goal and 1% better every day, and I win stack. I keep adding these wins, and over time, winning streaks happen. And then all of a sudden, you win the day, you win the week, you win the month, you win the quarter, you win the year. You look back and you go, I'm out of debt. I've got money. I've got good relationships. My business is strong and things are killing it. And I got out of the hole because A, I stopped digging, and B, I started to set micro goals. The challenge we all set is we want to go from 5 feet underground to 10 feet in a tree. Get out of the hole first. Yeah. And what is those small little things? So just simplify it down to a micro goal that allows you to win. Win the moment, win the day.
You have an immune system that like tackles every problem that comes your way, like everything. It's incredible.
It's built over time. It's systematically built. That goes to my success formula. Again, I think we all have the ability to be successful at everything. It's formulaic, and that's the whole premise of the Jeff Fenster Show, is to showcase that successful people are successful at everything in life. I don't want you to show me a billionaire who's 100 pounds overweight and is divorced and has no relationship with their kids. They're not successful. They're rich. I also don't want you to show me someone who has the greatest relationship with their family, but they're living out of a cardboard box because they haven't figured out how to make money. They have great family. They're broke. I also don't want you to show me the best in shape person in the world living paycheck to paycheck, 40,000 in credit card debt and no meaningful relationships. While they're in fit and they look good, they're not successful. Success is a 360-degree element. You should aim for success at everything in your life, spiritually, financially, physically, relationships, business, every element. And the formula that I'm trying to teach and show is how you do that. And I've learned from others. I've learned from experience. I have a model that has worked for me again and again and again. And I'm an ordinary guy, so I think a lot of other people can achieve it as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Milad, this was awesome, man. Thank you for coming on the show, dude.
So blessed.
Well, yeah, the start of our new relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
how I can help you in the future, I'm available to you, when you're ready, or if I can introduce you to people, we're going to help you be the next and greatest sports agent in the world.
The next Jeff Fenster.
I'm not a sports agent.
Doesn't matter, man.
I
want this studio.
You're not the next Jeff Fenster. You're the next Milad.
I like that.
You're going to be bigger than Jeff Fenster. I'm going to be like, dude, I'm with Milad, man. Like, that's what needs to happen.
But when people see us together in the future, it's going to be,
who's that guy next to Milad?
A1 from day one. No, they're going to know. This is going to show them.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, man. This was fun. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Back to the Basics with Jeff Fenster. Follow Milad, help him on his journey, watch him take over the world, and as always, be the best version of yourself or strive for it.
Thank you so much for listening. If you're looking to level up your relationship capital game, then take a minute and text the word Jeff to 33777 for a free copy of my Network to Millions playbook. The link will also be provided in the show notes below. See you guys next time.